So I finally reached 25,000 subscribers, and it's time to make yet another sign. But you know what? Up until now, I've been making static signs that don't take energy to be to their fullest potential. This time, I think I'm going to make one that's an energized sign. So I went to Halted and I got some nice little bits. Picked up a little USB to micro USB or mini USB. I can't remember. I think it's micro USB cable. Picked up some little 7-segment LED displays. These are about 75 cents. They glow orange and they're from the 1970s. They're new old stock. Got this little micro USB lithium charger. So basically, if I plug this together, this can charge a lithium-ion battery from USB. Well, I've gone all out and I've gotten my finest lithium battery. This is the highest capacity lithium cell I've tested ever. Granted, I could easily find one that would be more powerful. Like for instance, who knows, maybe that one I'm testing right now has more current, it has more capacity. But of the hundreds of cells that I've tested, this is the best one. So I say this deserves it. This deserves to be in this sign. I got one of these 18650 holders, so it'll be easy to replace the cell, and I got one of these circuit boards. So I say I will pop all these onto here, and I'll just solder them up so they'll be in series, or at least there'll be 3 LEDs in parallel, then the entire thing with 3 in series. Because the thing is, each one of these LED displays works at the best at 2.1 volts. And the thing is, 2.1 volts is half of a fully charged lithium cell. Now, granted, these are actually they're actually rated for 2.4 volts, but just for the sake of the argument, it's like it works perfectly. So I'll just have these 3 in series, these 3 in parallel, and these 3 in parallel. But then these 2 things will be in series. I'll just try to make sure that I divide the voltage enough, because you know, like these ones could be really dim and these ones could be bright. You know what? That's fine. Having 25 brighter than 000, that's fine with me. I'll just go with that. But yeah, so this is going to be pretty cool. Also, it happens to be that whenever the voltage on these dips below like 1.9 volts, it's basically pulling no power. So, whenever this battery gets down to like 3.9 volts, the LEDs won't be pulling from it. So it's basically, this is always going to, well, this is never going to fully discharge the battery. Whenever the USB thing charges it, the battery will start rising in voltage, but the amount of power that these LEDs take will raise also until they reach an equilibrium, to where these LEDs are using the same amount of power that this little charger is charging with, so probably like 500 milliamps. And then whenever I unplug it, or actually whenever I turn off my computer at the end of the night, then this will start using up the power and it'll wind down. I've estimated that, well, each one of these segments uses 15 milliamps of current. I should need 29 counting the decimal point, so 29 segments, I think, to light up the entire 25000 and the point for 1000. So that should be like maybe, I can't remember, 400 milliamps or so. You know what, I don't feel like doing the math right now, so let's just say 600 milliamps. But basically, that would mean that it would run at least like 3.5 hours off of this lithium cell. So that's pretty cool. But of course it'd be winding down, so as it winds down, it'd be taking less power, so it'd keep going and dimmer. It might last all night, who knows? But anyway, I say let's connect these in, solder them up. Actually, I have to flip this around so we have the copper on the other side. So I could have these on here like this, or I could have it like this. That looks kind of cool in my opinion. Wow, I've never had that fucking happen before. My job is soldering. That's what I do. I kept having the issues with this soldering iron that the lead kept, when I'd pull away, it would make like a tower of solder, like a quarter of an inch long. So I try to flatten it out and this soldering iron, I've always had the issue of lead sticking to it. And then as soon as I make a connection, all the lead rushes out and sticks onto the board. God. It is kind of frustrating. I mean, of course I'm using very cheap supplies and I don't have flux and I don't have solder sucker or anything like that, but still, fucking hell. It could just be because before I had these pins flush, so I couldn't actually heat up the pins themselves to suck up the lead. Oh well. I've pulled them out again, but I've pushed them in a little bit, so there is a little bit to actually heat up now. Let's try that. So I got the digits off, and fuck this board. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I've had come to think of it though, I have had some issues with those cheap boards from Halted though. The copper easily delaminates from the circuit board. Oh, and the tip spinner rotored away pretty badly. That's where all the lead was staying. I've had issues with these tips eroding really quickly though. Like here's the tip that I replaced just before this video. I used this one for about 45 minutes, I'd say. It just eats it up. It's horrible, I don't know. I'm going to try to go, what's it called, dead bug style? So I'm going to start off by gluing all these together. We'll see how that goes. This is just some acetone glue. Just acetone melted together with some ABS plastic. So now I have these glued together. I'm gluing on these little rails in the bottom just for structural stability. These came from a laptop battery pack that were in between some lithium ion cells. It's kind of interesting. So now I've taken some of this wire and stripped it. I'm going to take one strand. We'll see if it's strong enough. I'm just going to start trying wrapping it around and wiring it on here. So yeah, it's coming along really nicely, and it's already kind of working too. And it just occurred to me, I think this is the same way that they wired up the Apollo mission computers. Not really sure though. But yeah, basically I'm just weaving my own circuits. Just gonna make sure I do this right, you know? There we go. I still need to connect up a few of them, but yeah, that's working fine. So I'm missing one right here. Looks like it's just a bad connection. There we go. So that's a full battery. And here's a dead battery. Looks like I didn't... Oh, I forgot that LEDs are actually kind of weird whenever they're in series. Oh well. So now that this is all set up and working right, I say let's just glue it to that and that'll be the thing. Oh, look at that. Well, for this last part I had to use a piece of tape. But oh well. That's what it is. I think that turned out okay. I kind of like it. It's kind of funky. Theoretically, I should be able to power it with just USB without a battery inside. Oh, look at that. Awesome. Okay, so we have this battery that's at 2.2 volts. It's an LG battery, looks like. And so this thing's basically a battery charger. Wow, I mean, I didn't even realize I was building a battery charger with, yeah, it's just a battery charger. Pop this in here. So now it's having to be charged, and so the voltage has dropped down enough to where it can no longer light the LED, but the charging circuit is slowly charging it. So pretty soon it should start getting bright again. Look at that, that was pretty quick. They just kind of, oh, maybe it went to like a, maybe it went into like a higher charging mode. That's interesting. I unplugged it for like 10 minutes and oh, it's going out. I'll plug it back in real quick. Ah, there we go. So here it is on the thermal camera, and it's quite warm, that's for sure. Go to the computer. The computer's not too warm. AMAX B6. But yeah, this thing's burning off a good deal of heat. The charger's still going. It's pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. 25,000 subscribers. And I can easily just move this over to here somewhere. And there we go. We have it plugged into the monitor. So it's charging whenever the monitor's on. I'm still pretty surprised by how this actually worked. Far more interesting than just soldering to a circuit board, that's for sure. The number of subscribers is definitely not everything, but it is kind of cool to have more subscribers. And now the number itself might be kind of arbitrary to me, but having more people commenting on my videos, that's always fun. So, thanks for talking to me and responding to my videos. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See ya!